And welcome back, everybody. We have a very, very special evening for you guys today. Going to have 3 different matches going on throughout the course of this evening. Going to be starting things off at 7 with some Overwatch 2 gameplay in the NACE Starleague. Then following that, 8:30, going to be some COD XP against Western. And then we have some CCL to end things off later on. Jobin and Fundy here to take you guys through this Triple Threat Tuesday. How are we doing, man?
Pretty good. I mean, triple header on the docket. 3 different leagues to play through as well for these teams. Coming into Overwatch here, starting in a few minutes here, we've got, I believe, the Saints coming in 2-0. Even though this is week 4, the Saints did have a bye in that first week of NACE Starleague. Coming up against Shawnee State, 2-1. So they did have that one loss, but both these teams looking for that number 3 win coming in this week. So like we said, Shawnee State did take a loss earlier in the season, but still 2 wins under their belt. Then, I mean, we've seen Shawnee in a ton of esports as well. I'm expecting them to give a solid fight up here. But, I mean, we've seen Overwatch in the past few days in the collegiate championship there over the weekend. Overwatch has been feeling hot. Crime, Emerin, Squeak, all of them there. Redix staying on those those DPS supports. And we've also been seeing some amazing new comps, which is just feels so good to see on the cast. It's just not going into game and being, Sojourn, Reaper, Winston.
Yeah,
it's great to see some shakeups in the meta for sure.
Yeah, you just saw a quick little shot of the players on stage, or that starting 5 getting ready to suit up there. But yeah, like you said, it's been super refreshing the last week or two. I guess the last we haven't had that many Overwatch teams. The last month or so, the ball comp, the dive comp has kind of, been reinvigorated into this Overwatch 2 meta. And this team, like you said, very deep hero pool on every single character player. They're all heroes on stage anyways, one way or the other. But yeah, a lot of hero pool, a lot of variety. And the last couple weeks, they've been, let's call nothing short of dominant. Every single series, I believe, they've maybe dropped a round in the last 3 weeks. So they've been flawless in the NACE Starleague, Overwatch Collegiate. So far, they're through the first, I believe, 2 rounds of the Swiss bracket, yet to drop a map, I believe. So this team, they are firing on all cylinders. They're definitely feeling good about where they are in the meta right now. And I mean, they're looking forward to putting up that 3-0 tonight.
Yeah, and a big one I want to touch on is the DPS, because for almost all of that fall semester, almost all of that, I guess, first 3 months-ish of Overwatch 2 there, it was Sojourn and Reaper, and we never saw a switch. Now, we've seen the Cassidy come out. We've seen the Mei come out in certain situations. Hanzo and Widow right back on there, typically on King's Row, but we've started to see the Widow come out on a lot more maps. Circuit Royale is another one I'm looking at. Just those long sight lines, perfect for Widow.
Yeah, and I know Widow definitely, I think one of the last patch or two, she didn't necessarily get Giga buff, but she was in probably one of the stronger DPS in the game. They did just take away, I think, 25 HP, so she can get that true, I believe, an Ashe headshot, one shot. Now she can actually get one shot, so there is a little bit more counterplay, but I mean, we've seen the last couple weeks, when Crime and Emerin are manning that Widowmaker, it is an absolute sight to behold. They find those headshots, they find the grab hooks, like you said. They're going to see so many different heroes. Sombra still in a little bit of a good favor, not necessarily the strongest, even though people are still the ball comp dictates Sombra's going to be played a lot, but not necessarily the strongest, but a lot of variety. That makes the game refreshing. I do still think we're going to Lijiang Tower on map 1, so it's going to be the collegiate special, I guess, if you want to call it. Yeah, Lijiang.
We saw Oasis actually on the weekend, which is pretty refreshing.
True, Activision Blizzard actually gave us I know NACE might have a different map pool as well, because NACE, I believe they always have the same 7 maps to pull from. Overwatch Collegiate might have a different pool, because I don't think I've ever seen Oasis played on NACE, at least in the last year or two, so they might have that same map pool, so going to see some variety again. Lijiang, I'm guessing, Circuit Royale, King's Row, some variation of that, but looks like actually might be getting into the lobby in just a minute here. So I mean, let's go. I guess we'll go with predictions. Shawnee State 2-1, definitely going to be a solid squad. Probably going to be the best matchup the Overwatch team has had yet this year, just as far as seeding and records go. But I guess early predictions of what you think is going to go down.
I mean, I know I talked up Shawnee with their 2-1 record, with those 2 wins under their belt, but from what I've seen from this Overwatch team recently, I can't say anything other than a 3-0 at this point. It's just they have yet to give me a reason to doubt them. And they have just played so strong for every single time we've seen them on stream here. And I don't have a reason to not say the 3-0, so I'm going to have to say 3-0 here. They've been just so strong coming into Overwatch 2 in general. Yeah,
to avoid the caster curve, I mean, hopefully we'll avoid it, but I'm going to have to also say that 3-0. Like you said, they haven't really given a reason. They haven't shown any, critical flaws. A lot of times, some of the teams, you can see, okay, this is clearly, their Achilles heel, their fatal flaw. And wonder part of it, too, is, they haven't really been challenged to the point where necessarily a flaw is going to show. I mean, if you have a team quite literally stuck in the healing spawn door. What, not necessarily like what can you learn out of that, but I mean, there's only so much information you can really gather from that. So I'm looking forward to, maybe having a lot tougher of a matchup, trying to figure out some way to, at least get challenged, have some adversity. So that way when you get later, play a team like a Boise, like a team like Fisher, you're going to be ready. You're going to have that good experience. But I think we'll maybe go to a quick little 1-minute break here. Lobby taking a little bit longer to get set up than usual, but we'll be right back on the other side with some Overwatch 2.
Round one.
Getting right out of the gate here, it is Legion Tower. Confirm the classic start. You got that symmetric CP from both teams there, but I think the Saints did actually employ that.
Yep.
We got a Squeak back on the ball here. I believe that's a Junker Queen.
Yeah.
Out from Shawnee State. Junker Queen is one that we've seen a little bit more. We've
Yep.
seen it from the Saints as well. Just another character that is added to that meta. We're seeing the Cassidys come out, the Tracers, and then, this new support setup that I think the Saints have really been loving. It's that Zenyatta Brig, or also that Brig Lucio is one of my
Yeah. Yeah, and those are two of the support combos that were like very, very dominant in Overwatch 1, especially with kind of that dive comp. You want to get in on people, you want to get a lot of damage. Brig, fantastic for getting in there and brawling with these enemies. Squeak, obviously, with the ball. You're looking to, kind of get all these enemies off kiltered. And then, yeah, we're seeing those dual Cassidys and the dual Tracers as well. That's been, a bit of the shift. Tracer still been very, very strong. Cassidy, like you said, the one we've been seeing a lot more recently, I think he may have gotten some small buffs. Maybe the DPS passive might have got changed slightly, but nothing too crazy. We are going to see Shawnee State already going to have that Kitsune rush with the Saints. They're going to find a couple picks here. Shawnee State did end up taking over this first point, but they're getting taken out in droves here. Squeak, good for 2 solo kills there. Now the Saints are going to be able to flip this point back around in just a moment. 24% is all Shawnee State will get, and the Saints will flip the point.
Yeah, I think it was Shawnee was able to actually grab a pick on Squeak very early on, right before that point was initially open for capture, and then right as it was open, they had the zoning, they had the space taken, and they were just able to grab that one. But I mean, Saints come in invigorate, and everyone's back up. They're able to make a nice little team wipe. However, Deadeye comes out, is going to take down Obama there on.
Oh, nice sticky bomb. Solo kills.
I mean, that's the power of Zenyatta right there. That Discord orb and just that DPS support almost coming out.
Arjunk literally got 2 solo bolos on both of the TPS, takes them out one by one on that Zen. And like you said, we saw him play it last week too. Zen, DPS Zen and DPS Moira are always kind of a meme, especially like the TikTok Zenners and Moiras. But if you're able to land all those shots, especially that burst charge, you can do so much damage. Squeak, 4-man knockup. He is actually going to disperse the mines in this back corner now. He's going to get juiced up with all that health. Red X is going to hit the win button. The Saints are going to hit that W key. They're going to try to push over onto this point. The beat's getting taken out from Shawnee. Obama trying to keep this one alive. Z-Smitty does have the pulse bomb. Basilisk dead with the Deadeye. Crime takes out Obama. Squeak trying to do his best to hang alive here. Just look at the health pool of the ball from 600 overhealed to over 1,000. Just so much tankiness to whip away at. Shawnee State did back cap the point for a few moments there. Smitty's going to end up off the map to avoid that all charge. The Saints take the point back. Shawnee State, though, you're going to have a pretty good way to get back on this point. A lot of ultimates will be ready for him.
Yeah, the Saints they gave a little bit too much space to Shawnee. I think it was Smitty there on that tracer, went and kind of just solo capped it right behind their eyes, and then a retake comes through from the Saints. Squeak on this ball has been doing exactly what you want your tank to do. Soak up as much damage as possible and disrupt as much as possible. The second one of those knockups comes through, you know somebody's going to be following up on that, whether it be Emmerich, whether it be Prime, whether it be Arjun with a charged up right click, right? It doesn't matter. Squeak's going to be in there disrupting, and he's going to be grabbing kills and setting them up for the team. There's the Transcendence. Comes out from Arjun, saves the team for a little bit longer. Emmerich with that Deadeye does find Obama once again. This Lucio has had a tough time getting out of the way of those Deadeyes. 99%. This contest is everything for Shawnee State on this first point. Can't Patinko make it out of there alive. Able to find two, both DPS down.
Hey, the support's playing DPS today. Arjun finds a double solo ball. Oh, Squeak into his own mind. Little wrecking shot there. All left on the Queen. The Queen will fall. Lucio, rather Obama, trying to find this last touch. Tracer and Lucio, the two of the better characters at stalling out in this game, but it is so hard to stall against the ball, and the Saints are going to take over that first round.
Like, two of the slipperiest characters still
annoying, yeah.
Out by this ball. That's how good the disruption is, and when you have 1,000 health to back it up, it doesn't matter how much damage you do. You throw mines on the point.
Yeah.
They have no way to enter the point. They have no way to get back on as you're swinging around both of the entrance doorways and just knocking them out of windows. And eventually that overtime, it's going to tick down fast enough when it only takes a second or two to take that round win. 1-0 here on Legion Tower for the Saints. This is the point that we did typically see the main come out on, and Emmerich is going to be hovering that for now.
We've seen some cheeky Junkrat plays on this one as well, so not going to be too surprised, Squeak. Yeah, May and Junkrat, you're in a very, very close quarters area, so basically dropping explosions or using that Blizzard, you can essentially clear I think the Blizzard basically covers the entire capture point, so those are going to be some very, very strong, the Riptire as well. Everybody is in such a close quarters. That Riptire is almost sure to find value. There's that up top perch above the point as well. You can find lots of ways to rain down on the opponents. The Saints look like they have this front-facing pressure so far. They use that Symmetra like they usually do. You get the teleport, you get that early advantage, and then you just try to play from right here. We've seen Emmerich do this many a time where he sits top of the stairs, rain downs those shots. He's already at 70% toward the junk tire, 80, 90 toward the junk tire.
So much damage to come through. He falls out, but Chinto is able to find that kill. 4 kills come through in droves. Basilisk falls. It's a team kill. Arjun.
All right, Arjun, you're playing support, buddy.
I think Emmerich grabbed you as well. Yeah, but he's playing Baptiste. The thing about Baptiste, you have a ton of healing. You have your immortality. You have your burst healing from that shift ability as well. But a lot. Oh god, you've seen Emmerich do this before.
No.
They gotta check these corners. This is terrifying. We saw Emmerich like almost an entire in one fell.
And there's 3.
3 Squeak picks up the tank as well. Emmerich for 4. Clip of the night once again. Emmerich with these rip tires has just been on something recently.
Yeah, and I see that wanted poster. They sprayed to Emmerich, definitely going to be wanted in 50 states and 13 provinces. Shawnee State, they find themselves in a familiar situation to many of the opponents before. It is so hard to get onto this point unless you're able to set up some kind of Symmetra TP, which I see Smitty has now switched over to. And even then, once Squeak gets this shatter online, Crime finds a kill with the disruption. Shawnee State, that's 1 DPS down. They're not really anywhere close to anything as far as ultimates. Crime going to be good for 2. Red X with the boop. Happy, not going to be smiling about that one after the Saints. They're able to lock down this spawn. You see the ultimate charge already going to be back to 100 for all of these members. And how many times have we seen this situation? They just trap, and all of a sudden, Shawnee State, man, you have to W key and you got to go now.
One thing I want to highlight too is on this Reinhardt. All this picks it on this point, and it's so effective. It's so good at back
out of the way, but here's
huge
Shawnee.
Fire strike.
Wow, coming in for a bit of a flank, a different angle on this point. He's able to hit one with that, get the charge off onto Happy. Happy falls from the fire strike. 2 Fire Strike kills to come through. Squeak, though, alone on the point,
Still
getting
alive.
chunked down through his shield. But can you keep him alive? He's finally going to fall. Basilisk is able to find one. Pachinko takes out that immortality field. Crime has the overclock live, but this Symmetra shield is going to be tough to break through. He has to make this aggressive play. He finds one, dashes out of there, but he's being followed down by this Reinhardt. Shawnee State found their stride, is able to grab this point back, keep finding these picks. Happy said, oh, you're going to find the Fire Strike kill, Squeak? We'll give them right back to you.
Yeah, the only thing, if you're the Saints, that was a kind of a silver lining there. Shawnee State quite literally used 4 ultimates to just barely clear that point away. Emran's going to have the Riptire. By the time they get through another team fight and a half through, the Saints are going to probably get to that beat. They're going to have that window as well, so they're going to be in a beautiful position to set up Emran, though. That's going to be a massive kill. The Moira Orb going to take him out to the Sticky Bomb. The counter charge going to be good. Happy, down very low on HP there, is going to stay alive for the time being. Crime still landing these shots over onto the support. Double Fire Strike going to land for Squeak. Still trying to hold this short corner. If you're the Saints, though, I think Emran actually has that Riptire. Maybe trying to find something. Going to see what he can cook up here. Squeak trying to hold this front facing tire. There's the tire. Happy's going down. Squeak drawing just enough attention. There's the shatter. There's the window. And there's a whole lot of Shawnee State members followed at the Saints here. They're going to flip this point back over in just a moment here. And in all likelihood, that will spell the end of the game.
It's going to be Happy having to push through, but Squeak's already wreaking havoc in spawn. Crime to follow up. He's able to hit that nade as well. A double right click, fan the hammer there. He's able to take down that tank, and the zoning is good. They're able to secure map 1 here up against Shawnee State. Your Saints are on fire once again, but a much more resistance coming through in that one for sure from Shawnee State. But like you said, when it takes you 4-5 ultimates to just grab the point, it's tough. But I mean, what a play.
Yeah, the name says it all. Junk Rat. Emran is so good at finding those little pockets. I mean, to be fair, all the Saints kind of do the same thing, especially on that map. We saw how many times, like, Red X on Lucio sitting backside spawn, just waiting to boop somebody off the map. Yeah, we've seen so many times. We've even seen Squeak hiding on the ball, hiding on Orisa even, with the Spear and the Terra Surge back when Orisa was more Giga broken. So they have, again, comes back to that hero pool. And the thing with the ball, too, is, like, yes, the ball is kind of broken, but the ball is one of the hardest tanks to pilot in the game. You can't just, like, pick up the ball blindly and be good with it. Squeak, I think he's not like famously a ball player. I think he has a lot of time on ball. And like now that ball is meta, you're going to be in a very, very good spot to take control of those games.
Yeah, I mean, you see a player, especially when it's like one of those characters that you love, but just isn't necessarily in the meta. Yeah, you love to see it when you're actually going to be, allowed to pick it, let's say, right? Or just when picking it is not a throw, to say the least.
Yeah, there's always certain times, right, where the ball's good to stall out, try to like at least disperse some of the enemies, especially, like a Tracer Lucio, swing in circles, stay alive as long as possible. But yeah, now that it's meta, I'll say that's the best feeling ever. You one-trick a character for years and years, so you're like, they get absolutely buffed into the ceiling. You're just like, okay, now I can start to stretch my legs a little bit. Now I'm not trolling if I pick this character when we line up for NACE here, but we are going to go over to King's Row for this second map, so Collegiate Special, Lee Jang, King's Row, then maybe some kind of push map, Parry, ESO, Circuit Royale to round things off. But Shawnee State, like you said, they had a lot more, I guess, what's the word for it? Resistance and a lot of other teams the Saints have played so far. So much more competitive map 1, but we're going to have to head over to map 2 in a second here.
And you know what we call King's Row around here? Saints Row. I mean, we've seen this exact situation so many times before. 1-0 from that Lijiang game. Come into King's Row. Saints are feeling hot. Crime is going to be either on that Hanzo or that Widow, and Emran is going to be picking up
the other one.
The other one, exactly. Or actually, no, I don't see Emran on the Hanzo too much, but the Widow for sure. Yeah. And it's something, especially during that Reaper meta, right? We didn't see a lot of Emran on these, like, I guess, like, high-skill characters, right? But then you come in, you see him on something like, oh, Bastion.
This is interesting. Bastion is, he's a character right now. Bastion's always going to have, he's always going to give you that innate value. The turret mode is very, very strong. Bastion, though,
just immobile.
Not necessarily the best of states. The one good thing about him is that headshot hitbox does not exist. You cannot convince me that it does. Even shooting him from behind, it never seems to land that critical. So it can be a little bit tricky to deal with. But the Saints, this is definitely a different approach. I think they're just going to W key and try to face check.
Yeah, Shawnee State keeping it pretty similar with their recent picks from that last map. But thing I'm looking at too, Arjunk back on the Baptiste. When you pair a Bastion with an immortality shield, I mean, you've kind of fixed his one problem of, oh, he's going to get burst down immediately. But you've got Squeak in front of him with the physical shield there. You've got that immortality field from the Baptiste, and it's 1-for-1 right at the starting. Arjunk's going to fall, but Basilisk falls right back to some shots from Emran, getting actually decently far past this choke. We don't see a lot of teams make it this deep on the Saints, especially on that first push.
Yeah, the Saints, I guess this time it's because they have more of that kind of brawl comp style, especially having the Baptiste, having the Reinhardt, the Bastion. Reinhardt, you shield Bastion, Emran, you light up everybody from the back line. When things get sticky, Arjunk, you lay down the Immortality Lamp. Looks like, though, this backline flank going to be attempted from Shawnee. Looks like it's not going to be the worst idea in the world. The Saints are going to catch wind of it, so they're just going to have to play back. Take that reset here and watch Shawnee State off the top rope. They're going to jump down. Squeak has an early shatter, trying to find the timing. The counter charge is going to be good. He's going to get stunned up. The Immortality Lamp's going to keep him alive. 4-man shatter. All of Shawnee State's falling. 4 members down. Make it 5. A team kill and the fattest shatter you have ever seen. A spray for good measure and a dominant start to Kings Row.
That is how the Saints play this map. You wait for your opening. You let Shawnee State take as much space in those upper hotels as you want. What does it matter? We're here to defend the point. You 5-man drop on point.
Happy's at 50 and Squeak has already shattered.
Yeah, you hop on that point with that Lucio boost. Shatter right in response, and a lot of that came from the fact that Squeak was getting aggressive at that choke point. He would run into 4 of them, find these melee swings that would deal so much damage. Happy chunk down. This Symmetra not helping out too much in the grand scheme of things either. All they're stopping is just Saints members pushing insanely hard, but then you've got Crime and Arjunk here with that long range support. Of course, that Bastion to just shred anyone he wants to. You can't forget about Redx, 98% on that beat, but Pachinko has the Kitsune rush up. That's one that is big for this, but this is an interesting DPS switch from the side of Shawnee as well.
Also, Happy switched off of Reinhardt at like 80% to shatter, and they just updated it, so now instead of 30, you go down to 25% or 20%, I believe. So he's going to basically get rid of the shatter, pop onto the ball. So if he ends up falling here, that is going to be a wasted pick. The beat's coming out though for Redx. Arjunk has that window ready. Emran popped the ulti as well.
Deadeye on
the
Crime.
Saints doing a very good job of zoning. Yeah, Crime ready to pop that Deadeye. Arjunk, he's waiting to use that window. I mean, there's no rush to use the ultis. You have the advantage right now. Happy's low on HP. Again, Smitty switching as well. You took 2 ultimates off the board before you even got a chance to use them. They do have the dueling support ult. Arjunk though, solo bolo onto Obama. Only 1 minute left in this game. Crime's got Deadeye. Arjunk's got the window. Squeak almost has that shatter. Shawnee State, you gotta find some way to push, and you're gonna have to do it soon, because right now, this might be only 1 or 2 team fights away from being over.
I mean, this is how we see Kings Row, right? It's either
different comp this time.
It's either nobody gets onto the point, or maximum like 2 ticks are grabbed, or they capture the point, we bring it all the way to the end, and we're in for a 25-minute game of Overwatch that goes to double overtime.
Yeah.
That's the only way these games shake out on this map. How often do we see somebody grab the point, make it to like first checkpoint, and then get held off, right? It just doesn't happen here. It's either devastation or we're going the mile.
Yeah, and this brawl comp, I mean, this is the variety. The team, usually they play that double or triple sniper. You run the Hanzo, you run the Widow, you run the Ana, you try to get all the chip damage before they can appear. That is a beautiful Immortality Lamp. Shuts down the Tracer Pulse Bomb, gets that ultimate off the board. Kitsune Rush goes, the Deadeye is all day long, though. Crime's gonna get hacked. The Shatter's good as well, and Shawnee State is falling where they stand. 1 second left in this round. A team kill and a flawless first round for the Saints.
I mean, yeah, did they even get, like, they didn't get to a tick,
no,
but did they even grab progress?
I
think it was contested
I legitimately
the whole time.
don't think they touched point without a Saint being, and
yeah, I think it was contested the whole time they were trying to grab progress there.
And even the thing Shawnee State did, that's like not the worst strategy. They took the Symmetra TPs, tried to go around the top side of the map, tried to set up the backline flank. These are all very, very good ideas when you're not being read like a children's book with pop-ups.
Yeah.
The Saints, every single time that TP was somewhere, they had eyes on, they had shots going, and even Shawnee State, like you said, they set up the Symmetra turrets to like protect the TP, but if no one pushes the rooftop, which is not on the point, those turrets aren't really going to do anything. They're just kind of sitting there. And then Arjunk just Baptiste jump, couple burst shots, turrets go down, and Shawnee State just couldn't really, it looked like they had no identity that round. They kept switching heroes. They didn't really have a set strategy. They just kind of threw everything at the wall. Nothing stuck. Now the Saints, though, we're going to see a little bit of a swap. Squeak onto the Queen. We're going to see that Ana come back out once again.
Speed comp
This
to
is
come through.
They're going to get on. Yeah, they're
gonna be on point.
They are going to mobilize, get on point, and try to punch Shawnee State right in the face.
I mean, you need one team wipe and one tick, right? That's really all you need to grab. Yeah, one touch. Yeah, I'm not actually sure. Does it go to one touch, though?
Yeah.
Or does Saints have to make the full tick?
It's completely empty, which means they got no touch. Or it'll be like the arrow will be literally at the top of the circle.
Like very, very
close.
Like,
yeah, the second they touch uncontested, it's over.
100%. We get to start here. Basilisk, this is a
Torb is good for this setup.
Hold the line comp.
Torb and May are very good for this setup.
Yeah, it is the full tick. Okay,
yeah.
I'm not mistaken there, but yeah.
Oh yeah, one tick.
It's still tough. And
what an anti!
Emerin, what are these shots from the Symmetra too? We've seen it before. He is going to be able to take down that Immortality Shield. The turret's down as well. All you need to do is start finding these picks, but Redex, you can't get picked off so early. Neither can Squeak. Redex keeping himself alive, getting on that point. I mean, you could theoretically play zoning on this point, but you really got to wait for that tank to come back in. Happy shuts down Emerin. Pinned up is Crime. First push shut down fairly easily by Shawnee State. When you look at that comp, it's no surprise in my opinion.
And I mean, getting that Reinhardt kill onto Bastion is the greatest feeling because Bastion is literally the pick. All right, I don't want Reinhardt to have a shield the rest of the game. I'm playing Bastion to find that kill. Always feels so good. Exactly. Arjunk is going to take out Panchico there. Going to give that Saints maybe a second edge here. Shawnee State, though, like the Saints did last time, they're going to get to those ultimate charges quick. And we're going to see a nice little hot swap. We're going to see a 4-man switch Crime onto the Tracer. We're going to see that Sombra ball comp come out once again. So the Saints, like, hey, they lost a team fight. They took it personally. They're going back to the picks they like the best.
Yeah, you find that sleep, and look at Crime in the back line. Squeak and Crime there, taking down Pachinko, but Redex falls at this choke point. Arjunk ran down as well. Squeak, nice little knock-up on that ball. You get a big chunk of shields, to say the least, but you're flying out here. Are you trying to shut down these rotates is the question. There is one player on that rotate. It's Pachinko. He's actually switched to the Baptiste now as well. Can you shut him down in the 1v1? Squeak just being an absolute nuisance as the rest of the team finds their regen. You see Crime stacking up that pulse bomb, getting to about 75%. Happy's dangerously close to that shatter, though. Double support ult available. Everything coming out from Shawnee right now. Beat drop, Blizzard, just waiting on that window. Pulse bomb now up from Crime. This is the push they're looking for. Mines come down. Huge knock-up. Gotta break that Immortality Shield. It is broken in the end. The tank goes down. There goes Smitty. The Mines are finding more kills. This is most likely the round. That is gonna be it. 2-0 so far for the Saints.
Yeah, that was a heavy investment from Shawnee State. So many ultimates, but Squeak on the ball. The Baptiste ult, and I believe the May ult use as well. He hits them all out of the lamp and then behind the window. So they basically take away 2 ultimates in the span of 5-10 seconds there. They end up rolling over onto that point. And man, Squeak on the ball. Man, the ball is so damn strong, and Squeak knows how to handle that hero like a gem. Look at that beautiful kill cam here. Gonna get a nice little shot of everything going on there, the double Deadeye and that massive shatter as well. But I mean, just fantastic play. A lot of hero swapping, which is always nice to see. But the Saints, once again, all it takes is that one tick, and they're able to easily find it.
I mean, I feel like we could go on and on forever about King's Row, especially coming through from the Saints. We didn't even see Crime's Widow or the Hanzo come out. He's just sticking to that Cassidy and clicking heads like he is on that Widow anyway. I mean, what's 2 shots versus 1, especially when you have an auto-tracking grenade that you can throw on? Obama on that Lucio was getting like violated by the nade. He would try to speed in and try to make that point, try to make a boop or something, try to find that initial pick for that fight, and it's just a quick 1 body shot, nade, and most likely dead.
Yeah, I believe the Cassidy grenade too. I think if you're playing like the Cassidy v Cassidy matchup, I think if you get hit by the sticky bomb, you can actually roll out of it and survive if you time it perfectly. Yeah, you survive with like 20 or 25 HP. So these like little things like that as well that you wonder if these DPS are kind of playing those meta games while they're fighting as well. But yeah, just the Saints once again, such a strong showing. Say playing the Cassidy, playing the Bastion, which we haven't seen Bastion since he was basically removed from the game for a month when the game came out because he had the infinite ult he could spam across.
Unbelievably broken.
Yeah, Torb and Bastion both out of the game for like a month plus. Now back into the fold now. Looks like we are going over to Circuit Royale for this last one though. Expecting to definitely see some of those long range snipers. We're going to get that daytime view as well. So expect to see Crime and Emerin on some combo of Hanzo, Widow, Arjunk. Probably going to be on something like that Ana, something a low long range, find those picks. Maybe the Zen, something like that.
Sigma possibly.
Yeah, Sigma actually probably going to see Sigma at least for one of these teams. He's basically like the Circuit Royale pick. But the long-range fights, I mean, we've seen a lot of good clips off this map, so curious to see how this one goes.
Yeah, 100%. We're getting the daytime one as well. I don't think we've seen that on the stream.
They
Nice
just added,
to shake
I think
it
like the
up
last
today.
month or two, they added like daytime to all the maps and nighttime.
Yeah, daytime and nighttime.
Because,
you know, that opposite
Ooh, Ash.
time of day. But yeah, Ash, I mean, gonna be solid on this map as well. Kind of takes the role of that Hanzo or that Widow, right? Anything that can find those long-range sight lines and
Go, Bob.
just any hit scan hero as well. I mean, projectiles, the longer they move, the harder they're going to be to hit. We do see Squeak back on the Sigma, same as Happy, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a ball switch coming through later on in the game, possibly.
If they require it.
Yeah, I mean, Squeak has been just like very comfortable switching to the ball, and any time it just doesn't work out, he's like, all right, I'm switching to the ball, I'm finding a 3-4 man knock-up, and we're finding a team wipe.
The Saints also notoriously play this corner very, very well, and not many teams have been able to actually crack significant progress. Crime, though, going to be low a little bit early on there. Oh, Squeak going to be early on that kill. The ante and the follow-up so
Look at
strong.
where Arjunk is.
Yeah,
right on top of their spawn.
That's the one thing. We've seen the Saints do this all the time. They take the Symmetra TP right above spawn door. You lay down cover fire, especially Arjunk. They walk out of spawn, you get anteed, you get slept, and automatically that's going to be a pick or two over. And once they find those first 3 or 4 kills like they just have, guess what? It is going to be spawn Trap City. You have to worry about Crime, you got to worry about Red X, and you got to worry about Squeak and Emerin all up in your business. And we've seen the Saints play this one so strong before. Shawnee State, they're going to swap to the Echo. Echo, not a character we've actually seen too often at all. Crime takes out Panchico there. Shawnee State, they're going to swap over to the Winton now, so they're going to have to try to figure out some way here to get past this front line of St. Clair.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to find something. Echo as well.
A lot of mobility.
So switching to a bit more of a dive version of this comp.
I mean, you kind of need it, though.
Yeah, you have to get out in some way, or you have to get up in their face, but the question is, can you shut down this Ana? You have to kill this Ana. You have to take down the healing, and there's 2 to come through. Crime fighting right back with a headshot there onto Panchico. That's 1 support down. Can you find that pick on the Echo? You got to pick your battles where you can.
Yeah.
Crime getting out of there safely.
Yeah, Red X trying to do his best to hold down the front line here with this Zen, but Shawnee State, they are going to win over this first corner, which is not something the Saints have conceded too often, but ultimately, you're just playing back for that second sight line. Driving the cart up this part of the highway, probably the hardest part of the entire game besides
Honestly,
that last little bit, so this is going to be that time where a lot of teams maybe find that struggle, but I do like that Shawnee State is going for the dive because the Saints, no one has ever really even had the chance to play that dive, get onto Crime, get onto Emerin, and now they at least have a chance to get on the back line.
Yeah. The Winston switch showing its value for sure, but when the Discord orb comes through and when the shots from that Widow start coming through, wow.
Low trade.
Emerin just getting absolutely obliterated, but now look at where this Shawnee State team is back at. Yes, you moved the cart up a little bit more, but back to square one for you. That cart already backtracking a little bit. Crime looking for these shots. This Echo's movement, Smitty, I gotta hand it to him. Solid movement. These Strays, I mean, how are you going to hit the head on that one?
Yeah, the only thing with Echo is if you're moving like that, it is so hard to land your the sticky bombs.
Too,
yeah, but for her, it's very hard for her to land back the other way. That's the only one saving grace. Smitty, he's going to get shut down in that replicate immediately. Oh, the rock's going to be good for the kill on the Basilisk. Red X going to pop that Transcendence. Arjunk hit him with the Nano too. Emerin going to have that Symmetra wall soon enough. Red X is going to be that first one to fall, though. Squeak, he's going to have to retreat just a little bit. Smitty applying that pressure from the skies. Happy does have that Primal Rage. Obama does have that Kitsune, and they're going to have that Transcendence. So they're going to have a fantastic chance to really W key, push the pace forward. And I mean, the clock kind of got away from us because Shawnee State had a good first push. 50 seconds left, and they're yet to make it halfway to first checkpoint.
I mean, you've spent 45 seconds to a minute here just trying to get back to where you were. The cart's not even near this spawn is the issue. The melody
Transcendence
gonna come out. Transcendence, that's a good response coming through from Panchico, and keep in mind, you've still got this Kitsune Rush, you've still got the Primal Rage, you can definitely make a push happen, but you have to not have your entire team getting AoE chunked down by Squeak and all of his ricocheting shots here. That might be a kill onto the Echo. Can you find it? No, but look at the boosted healing. Squeak right back to 500 like he never fell below. Crime double kill.
Yeah, Squeak, I mean, whoever's playing support behind him, kudos to you, Red X and Arjun, because Squeak right now quite literally face-checking 4 members basically alone. He's got Arjun and Red X. I guess Red X, Arjun can give that long-range healing. Moira, you can toss the healing orb. It has a good amount of range to it. Not going to be the most. Finally, Smitty, he's going to land those sticky bombs, but Arjun and Squeak are going to take back their pound of flesh immediately. Emerin gonna get discorded up, gonna stay alive for the time being. Shawnee stayed back on this cart, but if you didn't check the HUD, we're already into overtime, and one more death for either one of these Shawnee members could very well result in the game. Oh, Sleepy Winston is not a happy Winston. The Saints are gonna clean up the rest of this push, and they're gonna take that commanding lead over Shawnee State.
47 meters. Granted, that's like double we've seen a lot of these teams get on the Saints here, but now, Shawnee, your aim right now to keep yourself in this series, to even make it to map 4, is to do exactly what the Saints just did to you, times 25. Yeah. Like, you cannot let even one team wipe go, especially if it's a staggered team wipe. That will be brutal for the side of Shawnee State. You're only looking at 47 meters. They didn't even make it past that bridge choke point, past that archway there, which is, like you said, realistically the hardest
That's when the game starts.
Yeah, that's the hardest spot on the map to really push through, and you already have to make it through a spawn trap. Crime instantly picking up this Genji. I want to see it, to be honest.
Tank Fist, Sombra, Genji, this is a comp.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it on a few maps. I think we did see it on that Oasis game that I was talking about during that collegiate homecoming, but Crime was only really able to get like 1 Dragon Blade off in the whole game, and it kind of got countered by a May Blizzard, so you know me, I'm here to get hyped. I'm here to see some crazy plays, whether it be from the Saints, whether it be from Shawnee. I want to see some ultimates come through. I want to see that kill feed popping off, and Genji, definitely the character that can make that happen.
I'll tell you what, this comp of St. Clair is actually going to be really, really hard to track down. Kiriko can blink around the map. Genji's hard enough. Squeak is going to dive the back line, get them to look all different directions.
You're not prepared.
Emerin's going to be invisible. Red X is running full speed. Arjunk's going to teleport. This is a very, very mobile comp. It's a very hard comp to hit. They're going to try to just get around, skirt on the back line here. Emerin going to get detected. He's not going to worry about all that. He's going to try to get the transporter up there. He's going to get set up on this back line. Crime found the first kill, and now Emerin is set up beautifully to take away these Shawnee State members. But honestly, I don't think it's even going to matter. The Saints are going to get right on top of things. They're going to find a whole lot of kills. Emerin still sitting in the spawn, waiting for the hack. Gonna tickle up Basilisk there. He's gonna give himself away, but he's gonna find a lot of damage. He's gonna translocate right out of their Crime. Now gonna hold the front line. But all this being said, Squeak having a nice old time on the cart while the rest of the Saints hold the spawn.
Something tells me this might be GG in the end. I mean, you're gonna have to push through this wall that is Crime. Emerin on that Sombra can just get out of any sticky
Sombra
situation.
Wall is holding them together right now.
Yeah, I mean, Emerin and Arjunk fall, but you're very, very deep into this spawn, and it's just Squeak chilling, emoting on the point, because your team is playing perfect zoning, perfect spawn trapping. That's a 3-0. I mean, there's a reason we both predicted it. You're seeing it here. You're seeing it live. There are not many teams right now that can match up to the hot streak that is Saints varsity here in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, let's see a little play from Red X here. The supports, you know, save one support. Got to give them a little bit of love, too. Gonna circling around her, finding a couple of picks, helping the Saints to finish off that round. And that strategy was exactly what I was talking about. You send the tank onto the back line. You send Sombra way the hell up the highway to sit in those spawns. Because, right, the second they find one pick, now it's a 1v1 in spawn, and the Saints have to play 4v4 and take that push. And we've seen every single time they've implied that, or, you know, put in that strategy before. It has pretty much worked flawlessly. And like you said, Squeak, he's just sitting there, you know, popping and locking on the cart. No one's really coming to contest him. The rest of these members are fighting a 4v4 for their lives on the highway. Squeak literally, it's like he's playing solo queue, just sitting there like, yeah, I'll just win.
Pops an emote at the end because you're watching your team clear out. Yes, there were trades going back and forth.
That's fine.
You saw where Happy was, that last tank, the person who's trying to dive for that cart, dive for that payload, but just couldn't make it happen. That's how Circuit Royale just shakes out. But nonetheless, 3-0 to finish off Overwatch 2 tonight. 3-0 in the NACE Starleague for Saints Varsity there. Shawnee State going to be finishing this week now at 2-2. But you
don't want to go anywhere because we've got
2 more best of 5s for you tonight. Moving in to Call of Duty later on, that's going to be that CXP game up against Western University. You got these Ontario schools coming up for a head-to-head matchup there, and then 10:30 in that CCL as well. That's going to be another best of 5 on the plate. Me and Jobin going to be sticking around all night for it. You don't want to go anywhere. We're going to throw it to a break. We'll join you back again at 8:30 for that next COD game.